topical issues once more, and today I'm going to talk about a place I like because we once visited the place. When Kenya got its independence, its capital town was not Nairobi, it was Machakos town. Machakos in Ukambani. It is in Ukambani that the name Kenya as a country, before it was a country, was pronounced when people, the first people, what are we calling them, the Europeans came for the first time. They asked what part of the country was across that mountain, and to the Kamba people they could not pronounce Kirinyaga, so they said that is Kenya. They gave the country Kenya the name Kenya from the neighboring community. This is a place, Machakos is a beautiful town. We once visited there on our tour to Kitui Special School. I was in the special school, and then we'd prepared to go and see things that were being made. Clay that would be made in such a way that you would make beads and make all those things for export. So we went to Jacaranda in Nairobi and then proceeded to Kitui, past Machakos, a beautiful place, a hotel called Ikuni, a very good place. So when we pass through that place, you find most of the place is semi-arid, and sometimes you wonder how can somebody do on a village level, because the government cannot be able to reach everywhere. There was a time also when I went to Tana River, and there was a problem of water being fetched from the Tana River, and the water was muddy and silty, and then people would look for some chemical salt that can be able to separate the water, the silt, make the silt settle. Takes a while, but I thought of something from the common things that we've been doing that can be of importance to people living in that place. And in honor of the first capital of Kenya, I've decided to call it Machakos Rural Water Filter Unit. And this is an interesting one because the other time we talked of getting water through gravity. You have a completely sealed tank. If this tank is filled with water and is put, maybe you have water that is silty, or from a silty source, or water that has been gotten from a river, or from a well that may have water that is sort of mixed with silt, you can be able to draw this water by gravity. Because if this one is airtight, once you release this water, this one will keep drawing water. So we said you don't necessarily need a pump. The earth will pump the water for you by gravity. And then we have a common water filter that most of the people in secondary schools and primary schools use. Sand, grit, gravel filter. They are in science manuals. Common filter, where you use different materials to let the silt settle until you have clean water flowing. Then you have the water flow to this place. Once it is completely filtered by this filter, it flows to a collection point. And in this collection point, you can be able to chlorinate the water. And then you have another gravity pump. This is water now for clean water, and it carries for you water. You don't need to have a pump, no. Through the other tank now, the clean water, and the water is able to flow, and you have your collection of clean water. If it is a house, you can take the clean water to the house, a collection point, or just a tap. The water is filtered without going to many places, without using a lot of expenses. And once you have this unit, Machakos Rural Water Filtering Unit, I gave it the name in honor of the first capital of Kenya before the capital was moved to Nairobi. And it's not only for Machakos, it's for many places in Kenya that sometimes, because of the vastness of the place, and because of the resources, and because of people living in interior places, sometimes can be easily made without incurring so much expenses, and would keep on filtering water, and you have clean bathing, washing, and drinking water, and you can be able to chlorinate instead of having silted water, because some people sometimes take silted water. This is something that can be made locally. It can stay for a long time, and it will give you services without using any pump. So I'd like to share this idea to all of us from Kenya, and if anywhere in the world. I know there may be many ways of filtering water, but this is a simpler one. Don't use a pump. You don't use many modern chemicals, and you have a unit that filters your water. So, welcome to Machakos Rural Water Filtering Unit. That is it. That is it. That is it. That is what I'm sharing about semi-arid areas and other places where sometimes the water is silty and people get a hard time, or sometimes spend so much, or they have to do a lot of filtering to get the water clean. This is a simpler unit, and it can be done on a slightly larger scale. So Machakos Rural Water Filtering Unit. I think you can have a clear view. Machakos Rural Water Filtering Unit. Anybody who can be able to access this material can be able to construct this unit, and it will be helpful in filtering the water from silty rivers, silty wells, silty ponds, and sometimes when the water you have collected for use has become silty in a large area, you can use it for a whole family. You can use it for several families. Here it is for anyone interested, anyone who may find he lives in an area that it can be useful to use for free. Thank you.